my life like this?
I did the one thing I shouldn't have done. I trusted I'm Marlena King.
What's up, you guys? Yes, there is a booger hanging out of my nose. No, I did not know that. If I did, I would have stopped the video and done it again. So no, I do not need you to point it out. I see it. Just enjoy the video. Dang. Sorry. Welcome back to another recap review, whatever, of I'm Marlena King, The Perfectionist. Or Pretty Little Liars presents The Perfectionist. And you guys, so much, and I do mean so much, happened tonight. I mean, so much. So I went into this show thinking a few things. Number one, I'm thinking it's been a very, very, very long time since we've watched Pretty Little Liars. And like, low-key, I'm over it, right? Like, I think we were all over it. And then they announced The Perfectionist. And then we're like, okay, but I think at the time they first announced it, we weren't over Pretty Little Liars yet, because they announced it like right after the series ends, right? And then it comes back, right? But then we see the BS, right? Because we saw the video that they did for the premiere date, okay? And if y'all didn't see that video, you need to stop right now. Go watch it, because I don't know what you think you're doing with your life, right? Right, okay. And then today, first day of spring. Still very chilly in New York, but still a great day. And then I watched The Perfectionist. And so much was happening. You guys, I don't even know where to begin with this series. Okay, so basically, the series, we see Allison, and she's in a car, just like the preview that everybody's seen, and the driver's like,
have you been to Beacon Heights?
And Allison's like,
No, this is my first time here. I'm going to be the staff member of Beacon Heights High School or college or whatever it's called.
and the guy's like,
Do you have any friends here?
and Allison's is all like,
Not a soul.
and then she rolls up in this house, and it's dark, and it's creepy, and she looks down the basement steps. Why do people look down the basement steps at night? I mean, it's pretty creepy during the day, if you get creeped out by those kind of things. And then she closes the door, and there's our favorite character on the face of the planet, Mona, holding a knife. And I definitely should have gotten a knife from my kitchen as a prop for effect, but we didn't think that far ahead. It's okay. So, as it turns out, the Hutchins, or whatever they are, the Hutchinsons, whatever their names are, created this school, and they brought Allison in because Allison reminds them of their daughter, Taylor, who apparently died or disappeared. It's still very much so unknown. And, Mona's like, hi, welcome to the party. And Allison's like, I'm confused. Why didn't you tell me? And Mona's like, because you know you was not going to show up if I told you. And we all know that's true because we all know how Allison feels about Mona. So then she cuts them both a piece of pie. She kind of explains what she's doing there and how she got there. And she did say, here could be a little Pretty Little Liars gem, or how they might intertwine both, which I don't think that they should do. I think they should leave them as two separate shows, honestly. But we already done did it, so let's keep it going. She said basically that freaking Alex and not Jessica, her twin sister, done forgot the girl's name, Mary. Alex and Mary escaped her in Paris somehow. But they don't explain anything else. Like, homegirl just had a whole entire, like, dollhouse in her basement in Paris. I guess Paris is hella lenient compared to New York. Or Pennsylvania, because that's where Rosewood is. But that ain't never been none of my business. So she tells Allison, oh, maybe you should go and put the pie in the refrigerator. Allison does that, and we see homegirl talking to the mirror like,
She's real persistent this year, isn't she?
Allison does address Emily and the twins, and she tries to cover up the fact that she's not with her wife and her two daughters by saying exactly what? I don't know. You guys let me know if you caught that, because all I heard was that she was in Beacon Heights to try and get a new start and to do things right, and she's working on her marriage with Emily, while she's across the country because she's now in Oregon and PA is on my coast. Not part of the tri-state area, but might as well be. I don't know. So right away, she's a TA at this college or this school, whatever this place is. She's a TA there. And we meet the three main characters. Well, four technically. Automatically. We meet Nolan, who is the new Allison De Laurentiis. Then we meet Ava, who's played by the girl who plays Evie in all of those Disney villain movies, thingy, whatever. And then there's this black girl, I forgot her name. And then there's the boy who's the cellist. I done forgot his name too. It just be like that. And so basically, we find out that Nolan is the new Allison because in the beginning when she first meets them, she asks them questions and freaking the black girl gives a very concise answer. But before her, the cellist gives a very concise answer. And in between the two of them is Ava. And Ava gives a BS kind of an answer. And she tells Allison, I didn't read the book over the summer. I've been working on my YouTube channel. Yeah. So I can pay for college. And then there's Nolan, who is apparently her boyfriend. But no, wait. Oh, I lied. Then there's Nolan. And Nolan pretty much insinuates like he knows about Allison and her past. So of course Allison gets all... And she goes to Mona and she's like, what did you tell them? And Mona's like, I didn't tell them anything, but I am saying based off of my observations and my like expertise in the crazies, which we all know she's an expert at. He is very dangerous and you should stay away from him. And I personally agree with Mona. I know a lot of people do not trust Mona and with very good reason. But at the end of the day, while Mona always lies, she is always trying to do what is in the best interest of her friends. Allison doesn't consider her a friend. Allison doesn't trust her as far as she can throw her. But Mona, I personally do not think that Mona would do anything like that to Allison. Did I call her Alice just now? Oh, well, you know where I went. Miss De Laurentiis. So now Allison is busy trying to investigate everything and she gives them the task of writing a paper. Nolan's mother is much like Allison's mother, and that's what's very interesting, how much these characters kind of parallel to the PLL characters. Now, I never got to finish reading the PLL books, but I did start reading half of The Perfectionist, like way back, like before they even announced they were going to be doing The Perfectionist, and I'm kind of seeing how some of the characters line up from that book, but also how they correlate to PLL, even though they're supposed to be two different things. So Nolan's mom is very much so like Jessica De Laurentiis. And basically, when you look at it, it's literally Allison and her brother all over again. And so everyone thinks that the daughter is dead and the mother brings Allison in to kind of replace her daughter because she reminds her daughter in some kind of weird way, but we still don't know why. Allison does some digging and she sees the girl and she's like, oh my God, she looks like me. That's a little bit of a stretch. Y'all both have blonde hair and blue eyes, but y'all don't look alike. Sorry, honey, you don't. And then when she tries to search something else, her access gets denied. Why? Because Mrs. Hotch, who owns everything, has this advanced owl-like technology all over the campus to keep everybody safe. And a part of keeping them safe is denying access. But throughout the show, and this is why I'm saying so much happened, you guys, because throughout the show, we find out that Taylor, who is Nolan's sister, who they think is committed suicide, that's what it was, she committed suicide. They think that she committed suicide and she's gone, but Nolan meets up with her. And then Marlena King got a thing with the woods. Marlena King, she just has a thing with the woods. I mean, think about it. How many times them girls enter the woods in one episode per season? Like, she got a thing with the woods. So everybody keeps meeting into the woods. Nolan goes into the woods at one point, to call some mystery person. And initially I thought it was the sister, because at this point we didn't know that the sister was alive. And I felt like she wasn't dead. I felt like it was very much so another Alice De Laurentiis. I keep saying Alice. Another Allison De Laurentiis move where, like, you know, they're in the bar and she disappears. She fakes her own death because somebody's harassing her. And then the second time we see them in the woods is Allison calls all of them out because Nolan makes Dylan write his paper. Oh, that's his name, the cellist. His name is Dylan. See, psychotherapy. Nolan makes Dylan write all of their papers. Makes him write Ava's paper and his paper, and Allison is reading them, and she's highlighting like certain verbiage. Like, I get it, I'm a teacher. Like, she's highlighting certain verbiage that leads to plagiarism, and she approaches all of them separately, including the girl who he's supposed to be dating, the black girl. But spoiler alert, he's not dating her. He's only with her because it gives off this perfect image. He's really with Ava, whatever this girl's name is. And so basically what ends up happening is Allison approaches all of them and she's like, listen, I know Dylan. I know Nolan. I was a Nolan and I want to help you. And I genuinely feel like Allison was trying to help them just because of everything that she's been through and how she was. And we all know how Allison De Laurentiis was. Like, girl, it ain't no secret. So I really do think that she was trying to help them and really trying to explain without saying that, like,
for 7 years, I was stalked because I would not tell the truth. Don't let it be you. Do not let it be you. The truth shall set you free. Let you go.
Like, I think truly that's what Allison's intention was. And, they, just like the Pretty Little Liars, is like, just let it go. Just let it go. Let it be. Just bypass it. Act like you didn't notice it. Just let it go. And so Allison goes into straight up Horatio Caine mode, trying to investigate all these things. And did I mention that the house that she's living in while she's working at this place in Oregon is actually Taylor's old house? Because that's not creepy. And so while she's grading the papers, like, the wallpaper started to peel and she put a frame in front of it. She put a picture frame of her, Emily, and the twins in front of it. And that was it. But we all know, we talking about I, Marlena King. We talking about Pretty Little Liars. We talking about all of that. That's just, that peeled paper. Something's not right about that, honey. So basically, Nolan ends up cheating on Ava. And she's like, why would you do that? And he's like, whatever. He's kind of whatever about it, which was really weird because in the beginning he just seemed really, really interested in her. So we knew that something was off there. He ends up meeting up with Taylor, and Taylor was the one, right after doing that, Taylor was the one who made him do it because he couldn't be close to anybody. But then when he was in the woods the first time, he made a mystery call and no one really knows who it's to. So we're thinking it's another A. Oh, speaking of A, they did incorporate A in this episode in this picture right here. We're not going to ignore that. Please tell me you caught that little Easter egg, if you will, of a gem. And I don't know if it's just to pay homage to A or if there really is an A, because there is a mystery person. Because Ava, Dylan, and is her name Claire? Maybe her name's Claire. We'll go with Claire. If it's not, I know you guys will let me know in the comments. But they were all in the forest after Nolan had just effed with everybody and they were tired of his shenanigans. They were like,
we ain't dealing with his mess no more.
So they were all in the forest just joking around about how they would kill him. And clearly, they have not seen Pretty Little Liars. Clearly, what happened in Rosewood was so minuscule that it just stayed in the walls of Rosewood that nobody else in the world seemed to know about A or anything that went on, because these fools were in the forest talking about how they would kill him. And the black girl, we're gonna call her Claire. Claire was all like,
yeah, he just gets pushed off the building and impaled by the sharp parts of the fence.
And what happens? We see him on the roof, and then they all leave the forest because they hear crackling, because that always happens. You know, A is always in the wings. A, red coat, green coat, B, C, all of them. They always in the wings. And they come back in front of, I guess, the campus. And there's like 3 separate paths going this way, and this way. And so they sit there and they talk, and they ended off with saying, I really think that if we hadn't met Nolan, we could have all truly, genuinely be friends. And as they're walking their separate ways, Nolan is on the roof watching them. And then there's like this big glare of light, right? Not like a ring light glare, but like deer in the headlights kind of light. And then a shadowy figure appears, a masked shadowy figure. We don't get to see who it is, and it was the person that he apparently called in the woods, which no one can track because he went into the woods when the service was down. so nobody can track that. And he's like, listen, we've got to do something. We've got to let them know what's going on. And then all of a sudden, the masked figure obviously runs at him, pushes him off, and he gets impaled the same way Claire had fantasized about killing him. Now, while all this is going down, Allison is back in the Suicide Girl's house, and she looks at the picture frame, and all of a sudden the little peel is now fixed. And I'm like, I know we're not gonna act like there wasn't just this weird sliver of a peel from the wallpaper that was out, and now it's not. And so Allison looked at the picture, smiled fondly, and then she noticed that the wallpaper was missing too. She pulls all the wallpaper, and it says, "They're watching." Very classic A. It's written in red in this really creepy font, and I really want to know who goes around handwriting in creepy font like that, but you know, to each their motherfucking own. So, just as that happened, she hears the sirens and she sees it coming through the window, and everybody runs out, and Nolan has been impaled by the fence. And all I could literally think was this. Oh, come on! You guys, I initially started watching this show, and I know I'm leaving a whole lot out, and it's okay. As I get more into the show and really get to know the characters, I'll be able to go in more detail like how I used to do with PLL. But being that tonight was the premiere, like, you guys, so much was happening. And that's all I kept saying was so much is happening. I mean, there was so much sexual relations in the first episode. I was like, dang, everybody's getting it in. Like, everybody was getting it in. And so now the suspects of Nolan's death is obviously the three of them that was in the woods. Now, nobody knows that they're a suspect, but as the viewer, they're technically suspects. And then Claire, the black girl, who's pretending to be with Nolan because they look like the perfect couple, she actually has a boyfriend who's this dweeby hot dude with glasses. And then he rolls up at the scene and she looks at him. And like, as the viewer, you're kind of like, oh, shoot, there's a suspect. But then in the previews for next week's episode, which I try really hard not to watch because I do like to be surprised, we see a text message or something. And Allison says to Mona, how does this look? And Mona says, like, you did it. So that should be interesting. Oh, and right after Nolan, I can't forget this little gem. Right after Nolan, gets impaled and everybody's there, Mona starts talking into a mirror again. Now, homegirl done talked into the mirror 3 times this episode, and I'm just thinking, okay, Mona's still that crazy, right? Like, that's just what I'm thinking. And you guys know I love Mona because of that. And if you're new, hey, what's up? Welcome, subscribe. Let's start a new family up in here. Let's add more people to the family. Not start a new one, add more people. So I'm just thinking Mona's crazy. But then she like talks into the mirror and she's like, oh my God, Nolan said we didn't have anything to do with that. Did we? And then all of a sudden the mirror moves back and there are people behind and there are screens. So she's obviously working with someone. The question is she working with the Hutchins company that has all this surveillance, or is she working with somebody else on the side to investigate what's going on? And Allison definitely wants to know what she is doing in Oregon, like for real. So, I mean, this show is legitimately cray. And in the beginning, I remember the first like 15 minutes watching this and I was like, I don't think I could do this. I genuinely do not think that I can do this. Like, for real, like, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't watch Pretty Little Liars from the very first, like, legit episode. I think I started watching it in season 3 or season 4. So it was like, and that was just kind of like on edge every Tuesday. And so now it's like, do I really want to do this again? But then I, Marlena King, went and did what I, Marlena King, does the best. She sits there, she plays with our brains, she makes us have questions, and then, like, she ends the show with cliffhangers. And I don't appreciate that. I'm Marlena King. Lies. I appreciate it. And I definitely will be watching it next Wednesday. And I hope you guys will be there with me to watch what is happening, the crazy and ridiculousness of what is going on. But you guys, the show is just so crazy. And I'm so sad that I wasn't able to go to this screening here in New York City. I wasn't able to get tickets. Unfortunately, they sold out by the time I even knew that there were tickets to be had. what? But yeah, tonight was crazy. And if you guys follow me on Twitter or on Instagram, which you guys should be doing, OMGG 1989. Nice me, you should be following me. I tweet about it, and I, Marlena King, actually retweeted one of my posts, which is in the thumbnail, but in case you missed it, it's right here again. Like, what is happening? That is the theme of The Perfectionist. What is happening? Because there was just so much happening. But that is it. This video has gone on long enough. I want to say thank you guys so much who hit me up the minute you guys knew about this premiere date. You guys were like,
Where are you at? Are you reviewing it?
of course I'm going to review it for you guys. I gotta bring you guys laughters now on Wednesdays. All right. So, as always, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more like it, or if you enjoyed me and you want to see more from me, then you know what to do. You need to subscribe and be part of the GG Meister Merpod squad and come swimming with us on all of our adventures. It's been a while since I've done that, you guys. But let's continue. Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, and share, because sharing is caring. And I will be seeing you same time, same channel next week. Loves and likes ya. Bye.